Yo, what up? What's poppin'? It's me, Josh, here again. I hope you had a fantastic week. My week was great. Thank you so much for asking. Now, this week's video is gonna be about lessons learned as you get older and mature in life. So I put together a list of things that I've learned in life as I've gotten older, and I'd like to know from you at the end of this video what important life lessons have you learned as you've gotten older. So without further ado, let's get started. First off, love is not perfect. Love is far from perfect. When I was younger, I used to have a very immature idea of what love was. I watched a lot of kid movies, a lot of Disney movies, I used to think love was this innocent, pure, precious thing, you know? But then after getting some experiences under my belt, I realized that love is far from that. Love it's a tricky and intricate thing. It's a double-edged sword, because on one side it can be the most beautiful, blissful, amazing thing ever, but then on the other side it can be dark. It can be painful, hurtful, tormenting even. With all that being said, I still think love is worth the investment, because at the end of the day, I want to be with somebody that I can share this experience of life with. Next, people tend to go with the flow. A lot of people like to go through the motions in life. You know, a lot of people don't like to go through change or to break their routines. You know, they might work at a job they hate, but they work there because it's safe, it's comfortable, it pays the bills. They don't challenge the status quo. They're afraid to go against the grain, even though more happiness might be on the other side of that. Next, money creates opportunities. This is one of the biggest lessons that I've learned personally. So I'll say this. So I know a lot of parents, for example, they don't like to, well, a lot of kids don't like the idea of their parents, you know, forcing them to study certain things in college, or you have to do this with your career, and I completely understand that. I get that. Now, for me personally, my parents, you know, from Nigeria, immigrant parents, right? They didn't necessarily force me to study accounting, because that's what I studied in college, but, you know, my dad, because he's an accountant, he kind of suggested, hey, you know, you might want to consider this, because in the long run, you'll be able to finance whatever you want to pay for. And I'll say for myself, it worked out great. I'm actually very thankful, because I live, you know, a few thousand miles away from home in a very awesome and amazing city, Chicago. I pay my own rent, I pay my own bills, and I have enough money to finance any creative endeavor I want to go for, you know? It doesn't matter. I was in Scotland earlier. I'm going to go to Nigeria next month. I was in Texas. I'm going to be in North Carolina February of next year, doing comedy, motivational speaking gigs, all of these creative things that I've been a part of and that I've been investing in. It all came out of my own pocket, and I owe it all to the fact that, you know, I got a job that allows me to pay for these things. Because one of the biggest things I learned is that money creates opportunities. Funny enough, you know, you need money to make money. So I'll speak for myself. I'm very happy that I ended up, you know, studying something that, you know, my parents kind of suggested. But like I said, that's for me. You know, I'm personally thankful for how my life kind of went about that path. Next, anything worth having requires work. This might sound a little bit cliche, but it is true. You know, I might be a little naive, or I don't know what the other correct word is, but I kind of feel like success is inevitable if you're willing to do what's required. Like, if you really want something, be willing to work for it and work harder than everyone else. You know, Will Smith, he was in this interview and he was talking about how the way he looks at life and success is like, look, nobody's gonna outwork me, and I will get what I want at the end of the day. It's like if he's on a treadmill and someone else is on a treadmill next to him and they're trying to see who's gonna last the longest, either one of two things is gonna happen. Either he wins and the other guy gets off, or he dies on the treadmill. So there's no way he's going to quit or give up. It's not an option. And I feel like that mentality is not super common, which is why I think, you know, a lot of people are weeded out of the road to success. Because sure, some people might stumble across it quicker than others, but in general, if you're not willing to put in an ungodly amount of work for it, you might not get it. Because, you know, success, if success was easy, you know, everyone would be successful, right? Last point, men have feelings too. Believe it or not, it's true, we got feelings. Because we as men, we're brought up to suppress our emotions, to not be vulnerable, to not be emotional, because doing so is seen as weak. You know, you're seen as less of a man if you do that. And what sucks is we got all these emotions and things bottled up, all this vulnerability built up inside with no real outlet for these things. Now, I've learned as I've gotten older that being able to properly identify and express your emotions is a sign of a very mature man. Pow! This concludes this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed it, click that like button down below. Leave your comments down below as well, and make sure you subscribe to my channel. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Now I want to know from you, what are some things you've learned in life as you've gotten older? What are some important life lessons that you've learned as you've gotten more mature? I want to know. Leave your comments down below. But anyway, that's it for me. Thank you so much for watching and supporting and commenting and all that stuff. Stay tuned this Thursday for another Thankful Thursdays. It's coming out. And yeah, that's it for me. Have a fantastic rest of your day and an even better rest of your week. Peace.